Thank you for joining us. I'm Ronelle Hutchinson from Investec, and today we have a distinguished panel, Justice Malala, John Haynes, and Paul McKeaveney, to discuss the dynamic political and economic events playing out in South Africa and globally. John, the global political landscape is quite volatile at the moment. Are we living in extraordinary times?
Yes, I mean, I think that's an easy answer to give you. It's not just extraordinary, they're exhilarating, but at the same time they are profoundly uncertain and unsettling. And it isn't just the politics, the politics are part of an upshot of the profound changes to our society that are coming about as a result of the technology hurricane that we're all living through. And it's forcing us to reinvent our own personal lives, our businesses. They're going through creative destruction at a pace that has never before been seen. And of course our governments are also having to reinvent themselves to deal with those problems. All of those things together are extraordinary by anybody's account of things.
What are the various scenarios that could play out at the conference in December?
It's very hard to accurately predict these things, but I'll go out on a limb and say that I'd give about a 55% chance of Cyril Ramaphosa being the winner of the race to succeed President Jacob Zuma. I don't think we're at the point of implosion. I don't think that we will see a doomsday scenario. I think that South Africa's democracy is mature. I think that you have a strong civil society. You have strong institutions, despite the push to capture some of them. One of the key things for me is that if the result is a good, positive one, a leadership that is concerned about South Africa is elected, the turnaround for South Africa would be swift. The inflow of confidence in the system would be huge, and would be back to being a winning country very, very quickly.
I think you're absolutely right. There is pent-up demand for South Africa. So you can choose to look a gift horse in the mouth, or you can allow it to come and give it its gift. So that's the choices that you're facing.
What do you think this newly elected ANC leader will inherit post-Zuma?
The government is so lucky that it has a script to work from. If you go back to the late 90s, when Trevor Manuel came in, we were in exactly this position. Managed to clean up the finances, make sure that our debt is not spiraling out of control. All those boxes we began to tick, and before long we were the darlings of the world.
Thanks, Justice. Paul, given the scenarios that Justice has outlined, what are the economic implications?
So, best case, we see a pro-reform candidate come in, engage with stakeholders, address state capture issues, focus on, at least start taking some action on the SOEs, and really start breathing some confidence back into the consumer and the business world. Under this scenario, you'd see the rand heading back to 12 quite quickly, bond market under 8%. You'd see inflation coming well in under 5%. All of which would bode very well for the economy and therefore for the rating agencies. So, in terms of a realistic bad outcome, that would involve obviously the status quo being maintained. I guess in the short to medium term, we'd be looking at the rand north of 16, bond yields up over 11%, the economy, the growth rates going negative, and really, that's the sort of spiral that that we really don't want to get into.
Don't want to interrupt, but the parallels with Brexit are quite strong in the sense it seems to me that South Africa would be voting to disentangle itself from the world economy, essentially, the world economy moving nicely and strongly, and you're actually taking a vote just to not participate in that rather wonderful party.
What does this mean for the average investor out there?
So for us, we're really not taking any big bets going into the next couple of months. Asset allocation positioning is mainly neutral across most asset classes. Notwithstanding the fact that they could do very well, South Africans should have a considerable portion of their assets invested offshore. Not necessarily just purely because of what may happen in South Africa, but the opportunity set globally is obviously much wider. We've gone underweight South African government bonds, and we've added to our cash position. Holding more cash really gives us the optionality to participate in the opportunities that will arise. So for the average investor, it's make sure that you're well diversified, make sure you understand where the risks are in your portfolio, but be ready to move. In the up case, there's a very good opportunity for us in South Africa, and there's companies that our small and mid-cap managers talk about that are trading on PEs of 3 and 4. So there are opportunities, and if we can get a positive outcome, there's good results for portfolios out there.